Okay, and we are live. We'll just give it a couple more minutes to let more people join. We're also waiting for a couple of speakers, but we'll kick things off shortly. I will run through the agenda in a second as well, but welcome everyone. Let us know where you're joining from today in the chat. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. We'll be kicking off shortly. We have a good agenda for you today, so sit tight. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let us know where you're joining from in the chat. Okay, I think we can kick things off at least with the agenda. So welcome to Illuminate. This is a virtual town hall hosted by Mina Foundation. I'm Becky, the Ecosystem Comms Manager on the marketing team, and I'll be your host today. We've got a good agenda planned for you this month. We're covering updates from different work streams at the foundation, so product and engineering, protocol governance, community grants, and more. And in this month's edition of Illuminate, we'll also be spotlighting some of the teams building in the ecosystem. So this month we have a few guests. We have Teville, Zeko, and Orochi Network. And then we also have Punk Pol, who left a recording for us earlier today, as they are not able to join us due to time zones. In case this is your first town hall, the aim of these calls is to kind of serve as a platform for us to share high-level updates, engage in discussions, and also provide an avenue for ecosystem projects to share their progress as well. And kind of foster synergies within the community. So we encourage your participation throughout the session. Feel free to drop comments in the chat. We appreciate all of your insights. So without further ado, let's dive into today's agenda. We will begin with a roundup of Mina over the past month before we hear updates on product and engineering from Salah. We'll follow this with an update on community programs from Haresh. Ben will talk us through some of the updates from Mina Foundation's protocol governance team, and then we'll dive into the guest spotlights I mentioned earlier. So as always, and as we mentioned on all of the calls, there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes, and we're trying to give you just a bit of insight into what's happening, but we'll share more as the months go on. If you have something you'd like to hear about in particular, please let us know in the chat, and we'll try and incorporate it into the months following. So let's kick things off with last month in Mina. So Mina Foundation announced it will be collaborating with Murray Asset Financial Group to build a privacy-enhanced STO, a security token offering solution. This allows their users to benefit from STO ownership while preserving their privacy and maintaining regulatory compliance in Asia markets. So this solution will use zero-knowledge proofs and will be built on the Mina blockchain. A lot of these things you might have already seen on social, and if you want more context, you can find it on our social channels and on the blog post. But if not, I will continue sharing the news with you. So Mina's also partnered with Align Layer, which in the future will enable the verification of Mina proofs on Ethereum fast and affordably. So this includes Mina's succinct blockchain proof and the hundreds of thousands of proofs recursively rolled up in it, enabling a powerful Mina to Ethereum state bridge. Mina was also present at the Lambda Hack Week in Brussels, a networking event at IBS Kyoto, Japan's largest IT blockchain event, and also present at ZKP Labs in Vietnam. So it's been a busy month for the ecosystem. We're looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year brings, and you can find more information about all of this, like I mentioned earlier, on our social channels. So I will hand it over to Salah now, who is going to give us the latest on Mina Foundation's engineering department. Hey, Salah.
Hi, Becky. Hi, everyone. Thank you again, Becky, for the introduction, and welcome everybody here. Yeah, so I'm really excited to announce this this two new news, I would say. Yeah, and I'm also excited to welcome ProtoKit and Viable Systems team to the Mina Foundation Engineering Department. So effective as per July 1st, they are part of the engineering department. When we speak about ProtoKit, you probably know already what is it. It has been incubated, created by the two guys you see here, Rafael and Batej. They will join, as I said, the engineering team, and they will continue their work on this framework on ProtoKit. Just to recall that ProtoKit development started with the ZK Ignite cohort number 1, and this is mainly continuation of their efforts. We are putting a lot of focus on this to get it high-level standards production ready in the coming weeks and months. So this is about ProtoKit announcement. Then the second one is viable systems. Just to recall a few things, viable systems is Mina community partner since 2 years. They were working mainly on the web node called OpenMina, but also they started working on a Rust implementation of the node. So as I said, starting from July 1st this year, they are the team is now part of Mina Foundation, part of the engineering department. They will continue focusing on the web node. Hopefully, we'll release a version that is compatible with mainnet shortly, but also they will put a high focus on the Rust implementation, and we target to deliver a node based on Rust in the coming months. So this about this is mainly the news, and so bringing them in house, will allow us, but will allow also the community for closer collaboration, and also to accelerate the delivery of the two products that are ProtoKit and OpenMina. So when I say OpenMina, that's the web node and the Rust implementation. Once again, welcome to the team, and looking forward for all the things we will go in to deliver all together. Thank you again for everyone, and back to you, Becky.
Thanks, Salah. We actually have Raphael here today with us from ProtoKit, who's going to share more about what ProtoKit are working on. So over to you, Raphael.
Oh, thanks, Becky. So yeah, we have been building hard on ProtoKit for the last few months, and a lot of those efforts are going to be released in the coming week or so. And yeah, one of the I'm gonna just go quickly through all the nice features that we're going to release really soon. The first is going to be an upgrade to the latest OpenJS, so you can use all the nice features that have been added over the last few months to OpenJS, also in ProtoKit. Then one big thing that we are going to ship is some built-in DevOps tooling that enables developers to kind of spin up testnets and run applications built on ProtoKit on servers, and build testnets for people to use and to run over longer periods of time. And we also did a lot of work on the execution and sequencing performance, so that your runtimes will run a lot faster. Our protocol behind the scenes, we did a lot of work on that, so that everything runs super smoothly. And then the next, the last big thing that we're going to ship is going to be the indexer and the processor in combination with the Block Explorer. So the Block Explorer will basically be the Block Explorer as you know it from other blockchains, but be engineered in a modular way, so that you can offer a way for users to inspect the ongoings of the app chain, and inspect blocks, transactions, and see what users did, how accounts, what accounts exist, and all of that will be shipped as part of that. And then after we completed that, we're going to focus on our next roadmap items, which are going to be focusing a lot on the settlement and kind of migrating or going to step towards running on actual live testnets. And the first part of that is going to be tooling for settlement and bridging, so that app chain developers can settle their applications on some layer 1, whether that will be Lightnet, DevNet, or then eventually mainnet, but obviously that would be some part in the future. And then also bridging, which enables for tokens to move from the underlying layer 1 to the layer 2, where the tokens then can be used in applications. As part of that efforts, we want to ship some integrations and nice tooling for LiveNet and DevNet integration, so that people can try out that functionality on live networks and share with other people as well. Another feature that has been asked a lot by our community was provable events. We will ship that or as part of that effort. And also we are working hard on getting our code base ready for an internal audit, so that we can make the first step in actually making it safe to use on mainnet with live funds and live applications. So yeah, that was everything about me. Thanks.
Phil. Unfortunately, the next update is from the core grants team, so Philip, but he's unable to join us today, but he has left an update for me to share with you. So anyone who's not familiar with it, core grants is a program designed to address critical infrastructure needs and fund public goods, supporting high priority development areas. So once an RFC, so a request for comment, is finalized, it evolves into an RFP, which is a request for proposal, where we then issue grants for fulfilling the RFC objectives. So earlier this month, we actually hosted a core grants community call in which we shared some of these updates. So you can join these in Discord every month, but for anyone who wasn't able to join, here's a quick status update on where things are at with the program. So in proposals we currently have in review are the wallet provider API. So the proposals for this RFP aim to specify a standard for how wallets and ZK apps interact on Mina. 2 proposals have been submitted. We also have ZK Passport. The aim of this one is to develop a standard API for Mina wallets, allowing users to generate and manage proofs which can attest to anything. We have the private credential standard, which was previously the attestation API. The purpose of this one is to extend the wallet provider API for Mina wallets to enable attestations beyond the current features, focusing on composable privacy and secure proof storage. The tokenomics one is also in review. So this RFP aims for proposers to write and publish an in-depth report and analysis on the tokenomics of Mina protocol. Multiple high-quality proposals were submitted, and an update is coming really soon for this one. So keep an eye out on our social channels. In terms of internal work, fungible token standard, which began as a community-published RFC, is now has an audit underway. So you can find the latest on that in GitHub. I'll drop the link in the chat after this. And then ZKML. So this is a project aimed at building a library on top of O1.js with the intent of enabling developers to build ZKML apps in the Mina ecosystem. I believe Emmanuel, who is also on the core grants team, is watching this on YouTube now. So if you have any questions, you can either drop him a note on YouTube, or you can drop us a note in the core grants channel in Discord. And if you want to learn more about the program or you want to get involved, you can also visit the core grants GitHub. So I will drop a link to that after this call as well. Next up, we have Haresh from the community team at Mina Foundation. He's going to share more on community grants. So Haresh, I will bring you to the stage.
Hey, Becky. Hello, everyone. So Navigators is a grant program which is designed to get your zero knowledge idea to production and accelerate it. Over the period of last month, I'm very happy to share that we have awarded 4 more grants. And these are the projects. Teville, I'm sure everyone on stream has played it. If not, I highly encourage you to go and try it out. So Teville has been awarded a grant to improve their tooling, their architecture, squash more bugs, and add more levels to the game. The second project is Oro Wallet, which is a staple of the Mina ecosystem. I'm sure many of you use it for staking, transferring, interacting with ZK apps. They have been awarded a grant to support the custom tokens, which are built on the recently announced and almost finalized fungible token standard, which is undergoing an audit. The third project to get a grant is a ZK database from Orochi Network, who I'm sure we're going to hear in a couple of minutes. So ZK database is going to bring an off-chain storage solution to Mina protocol developers. And I know this has been a bit of a pain point for a lot of users. So very excited to see this get into hands of the developers. Could we go to the next slide, please? Carrying on, we have also given a grant for a smart contract wallet. This should enable account abstraction. So these are the first steps towards allowing different signing mechanisms. These could be biometrics or passkeys using different types of signatures and curves. So the idea is this should be extensible to other solutions. So very happy to see this proposal go through as well. So congratulations to these 4 projects. While these 4 have been awarded, we have 2 more waiting in the wing. The first proposal is for PyMa engine template. So there are 2 templates which are going to be delivered as part of this proposal. One is to build games efficiently on Mina protocol, and the second is a VDF template. Essentially, think of these templates as infrastructure, which will have a set of other cryptographic operations, which will help builders to get a commercial product out very quickly. So please, if you have any comments on this, head to Mina Protocol research forums and please share your thoughts. Could you go to the next one, please? Another proposal which is open for comments is from BlockBerry, which is releasing or working on a Mina security API. Essentially, this is an API which wallets or ZK apps can query and check if any address or ZK app they are interacting with can be or is a potential scam. And they do this using some form of automated analysis and also a whitelisting mechanism. So these 2 are live on Mina Research. If you have any thoughts on them, I highly encourage you to please go on there and get involved. Now we have first 2 finishers of the grants program. The first one is Zikinoid L1 lottery. There is a slight delay as per the timelines, and this is due to they are waiting for a VRF to be integrated, and we are in touch with the team. And ZK Regex, which was to bring announcements, is now delivered. Both of these projects will have presentations, and we will share them with the community. Could you go to the next one, please? Right. So there are also so the updates I shared were from the growth track, and now I would like to share some numbers from the modules and the starter tracks, which are currently invite only. So in modules, we have around 27 developers in training, and starter track, we have 7 developers who are building a POC. The idea is like these developers go through the motions and end up building a product on Mina protocol. So the program is open for applications, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And Becky, back to you.
Thank you, Harish. So next up, we have Ben from the Mina Foundation protocol governance team. They've also been super busy, and I'm hoping you can share more to what's behind these images.
Yeah, sure thing. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Great. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Ben, and I'm a governance researcher at Mina Foundation. In the spirit of our core values of curiosity, openness, respect, and excellence, the governance team is committed to raising awareness and building the community's understanding about governance. So we've been carrying out research on relevant governance concepts, principles, and best practices that we now want to start sharing more widely. This week, I posted on Mina Research a link to a draft of our first research blog post so that you can take a read and provide some feedback before we plan to publish it shortly. So let me just take a few moments to summarize this first blog post, Building Mina's Hive Mind Through Collective Intelligence. So one concept we're very interested in is collective intelligence, where groups of people are organized at scale to solve public problems in ways that often outperform individual people alone. So think of examples from the natural world. Think how a school of fish swims as a whole, or how a flock of birds seems to move as a single organism, or how a swarm of bees selects a fresh site for a new hive. Inspired by these insights, social science researchers have developed high-level frameworks and methods for organizing groups of people to make decisions as a hive mind. So why is this important for Mina? Well, our recent Next Steps blog post set out a vision for Mina's governance, and it explains that key decisions need to be made effectively while also aligned with the wishes of the Mina community. And so consequently, all key stakeholder groups in the ecosystem need to have a voice, agency, and support to participate in decision-making. So this then raises the question, well, how should Mina's governance be organized to harness the intelligence of individual community members to make the best decisions? In other words, how can we build Mina's hive mind? So the blog post introduces collective intelligence and provides some more examples and insights from the natural and biological world. It then summarizes some frameworks that have then been developed, inspired by these insights, and suggests how they can be applied to Mina. And finally, it also emphasizes how ongoing experimentation and learning is central to collective intelligence. And that's why, again, as stated in our Next Steps blog post, an experimental and incremental philosophy is needed so that Mina's community can iteratively add, test, and improve governance processes based on real-world learning. Of course, the aim of publishing these research blog posts is not only to inform the community about governance, but to stimulate discussion. So please take a look at the link on Mina Research to provide any initial feedback on this first blog post, but feel free to then kickstart debate in Discord or elsewhere. The blog post might seem long and quite detailed, but don't worry, there's a high-level summary at the start to whet your appetite. And finally, two related topics for the rest of this collective intelligence blog post series include: one, deliberation. What methods and tools can help people better understand proposals before they need to vote on them? And two, sortition and citizens' assemblies. In other words, how can groups of people be randomly selected to deliberate on a topic and provide advice? So watch this space for more. Please feel free to reach out to me and others in the governance team, especially if there are other concepts, principles, and practices that you're enthusiastic about and you think are worth exploring more deeply. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. So exciting things coming up for the Mina Foundation Protocol Governance team. And I think I can see Remy in the chat already sharing the link. So if anyone wants to read the blog post that Ben's mentioned, you can find the links there. And we'll also share a link to the Discord server later on, where you can find all of the Mina Foundation Protocol governance channels, and you can interact with the team there as well. So next up, we have our ecosystem spotlights. First up, we have Zeko. So let me bring up Las to the stage. Hey, Las.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How's mine? Do I have any background noise?
Nope, all good.
Really? Okay, that's surprising. Thank you then. If there are any problems, please just tell me. So I am CTO of Zeko Labs, and we are doing a roll-up for Mina. If you don't already know what that entails, it essentially means we do Mina again on Mina. The goal of Zeko is to have a rollup that is completely isomorphic to Mina, which means that anything you can do in Mina, you can also do in Zeko. Every single thing. That means if you are a ZK app developer, you can do the exact same thing as you're doing on Mina on Zeko. What I want to talk about today is our progress towards getting this towards mainnet. You can see the slides made by my very helpful CEO, Evan Kyriakis. We have some promotional events, which I am unfortunately not familiar with because I am the CTO, technical officer. But I can talk about the technical side of things. On the technical side of things, a rollup is not entirely straightforward, but thankfully more straightforward so in Mina's case, because Mina already uses Zika for everything. So we have less work to do, but also more work to do some other areas. We, on mainnet launch, in hopefully Q3, hope to have working transfers for all tokens. So this means you will have a rollup where you can transfer, you can bridge any token you want from L1 to L2, given that someone has deployed a bridge for that token. We also hope to have decentralized sequences, the sequencer being the actor, the party who takes the transactions and does the work to prove that there is a transaction from the old state of the rollup, which is recorded as the ledger hash on the L1 ZK app account, to the new ledger hash. We also hope to have a working DA layer, of course, and that is somewhat decentralized. So the DA, as I'm sure you know, means data availability, very important for all ZK apps on Mina. We hope to have something akin to a multisig, but a bit more complex, hopefully, which is not too different mostly from what everyone is doing in the end. And we also hope, of course, to have a working rollup. I hope that you will join our Discord, and if you have any questions, of course, do feel free to ask me. I'm also active in the Discord under my own name, Lars. You can ask me any questions, but just to make it clear again, the point for why you would use Zeko, and this is a question I get very often, isn't Mina already a rollup? If you're watching this stream, I hope you already know that, but Mina is kind of a rollup, but not really a rollup. It is just proving for the consensus. What we provide is hopefully a cheaper and faster experience with less latency, such that you can develop ZK apps with a mind that has more peace, is a weird way of saying it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lars. As you said, if you have any questions, you can join their Discord channel and they'll be on hand to help you out. So next up, we have Teville, which is one of the projects that Haresh mentioned earlier today. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Becky. So my name is Satyam and I am from Teville team. First of all, I want to thank you, entire Mina community for showing us a lot of loves on Twitter. So Teville, it's an on-chain city development game. So I'm really into the board games and been doing like web development for 7-8 years. So when I got to know about, when I got into the blockchain, I had this dream of creating some board game, and Teville really fit into this picture. So I guess most of the people who are here might have played this game already. So I'll just talk more about what our vision was when we created the Teville. So our vision was on two things. First was UX experience. So players who are playing the game, uh, they necessarily not need to realize that they are playing a blockchain game, right? So there shouldn't be this UX or UI friction. And the other point was like while playing, players can earn something, right? Players can take a part in the challenge and earn rewards. Becky, can you please go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So we launched our first competition on June 21, and it was hosted by Ziganoid team. 166 games were played as part of this first challenge, and that really excited us because when we launched, we were not really sure, like how the community will like the game. So that gave us a motivation to develop the game further. And since then, like in about a month, 1,000 games have been played, and we have distributed about 3,300 Mina tokens as part of these challenges. And total four competitions have been completed. And our latest competition is Speed Search. That's like a unique type of competition where you get only 3 minutes to play the game. a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of players on the Twitter asked this, like, can you provide us a speed version of the game? So we did this as part, as part of their feedback. Becky, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So so our main goal right now is to create new levels, because we are hearing from players is like they kind of get bored playing the same map again and again, and after playing 10-15 games it kind of becoming like boring thing. So we are trying to introduce new elements in the game, new map sizes, new types of tiles, and economy into the game, like resource constraints, and also different versions of the game, like player versus player mode, where you can invite a friend to play with him, and can create a competition. And again, it's just like dual mode. And the one more thing that we are basically targeting is expanding, like involving more people in the game building, as we are just 3% team. So the kind of vision that we have, it's not really possible with the 3% team. So we want to build a community where players can contribute in building new levels. And as part of that, we have dreamed of creating a DAO, Teville DAO, and as part of that, we are going to basically launch our NFTs, and more information about it soon. So yes, I mean, if you are a coder, if you are a developer and want to contribute to the Teville, please please feel free to look at our open issues, connect me or my teammate on the Telegram, or just follow us on the Twitter. And yeah, I mean, if there is any feedback, anything that you feel like about the game, just tell us. Yeah, thank you, Becky.
Thank you so much for sharing your update. You can find the links to their social channels, the website, and their GitHub repo in the deck. Thank you again for your update. Next up, we have Orochi Network. Let me bring up the team.
Hello everyone, my name
Hi.
is Oleg, and I'm a co-developer of ZK database project. And I'm here to give a quick update on our progress. By the end of the May, we had developed a prototype, but it had several significant issues. It could only generate a single proof at a time. The SDK was unusable. There was a disconnect between on-chain and off-chain state, and the visualization was poor. And in response of these problems, we have focused on our efforts in the final stage by prioritizing seamless development and improved user experience. So our SDK supports both browser and Node.js environment, and we can divide it into 3 parts. A generic approach is primarily designed for use by database owners and also known as admins. The ODM, Object Data Model, is intended for end user, allowing to develop your ZK app with a ZK database by writing just a few lines of code. And our querying system supports data sharing across projects, enabling users to request data efficiently. Then proof service is a known issue that generates proofs on browser is inefficient. So we delegate proving to our ZK database service. We cache all proof-related data, and the user can request it efficiently. So it will provide a smooth experience for them. As well as we scale our proof service, so we can generate proof much more efficiently. So in alpha version, we will scale up to 20 proofs at a time, and in production up to 128 proofs. Could you go to the next slide? And that's finally our sneak peek at at our UI development, it will allow everybody to create its own database, create collection, and observe data and verify data. It can be think as a block explorer, as each database is actually can be think as a separate blockchain. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the update. It was great to have you here with us today. And last but not least, we have an update from Punkpol, but as I mentioned earlier, they're unable to join us live because of time zones, but they have left us a recording which David Park kindly translated for us earlier today. So let me bring that up to the stage.
So for Punkpol's migration status, Punkpol is working on transferring the user accounts to the public mainnet.
그리고 지금 저희가 향후에 리워드로 지금 지급하고 있는 펑크와 미나를 교환하는 방식은 그 AMM 방식이 아니라 그 미나와 펑크 토큰을 패깅하여 교환하는 방식으로 지금 개발을 진행하고 있고요. 이거는 아마 저희가 하고 있는 그 국회의원 에코시스템을 진행하게 되면 그때부터 적용이 될 것입니다.
So currently, for Punkpol users to be incentivized, Punkpol had structured a one-to-one Punk token swap with Mina, and it's not using the AMM through DEX, but it's just pegged as one-to-one ratio. And this structure of incentive will be starting from the Korean congressman's ecosystem campaign, which will be coming out in a few months.
지금 저희가 메인넷에서 주로 하고 있는 서비스는 카카오톡하고 텔레그램 메신저를 사용해서 이제 투표나 설문에 참여하는 것을 진행을 하고 있고요. 그리고 그 트위터를 사용해서 매일 하나 이상의 설문을 배포를 하고 참여를 진행을 하고 있습니다.
So at this moment, on mainnet, what Punkpol provides is a poll and poll service and survey service through front end of messengers like largest messenger in Korea called KakaoTalk, and of course Telegram. So users can participate in the poll and election surveys through these messengers. And on Twitter, Punkpol is uploading daily campaigns or daily contents for those polls and surveys.
지금 저희가 이렇게 카카오톡이나 텔레그램으로 메신저를 사용을 해서 지금 투표와 설문에 참여를 하고 있는데, 이것은 궁극적으로 저희가 글로벌 100만 명 패널을 구축하는 것을 목표로 하고 진행을 하고 있는 것이고요. 그것에 대한 단계로 지금 국회의원 에코시스템이나 정책연구소를 통한 설문을 참여하는 그와 같은 비즈니스를 향후 올해 안에 진행을 할 예정입니다.
So for Punkpol, Punkpol's ultimate vision is to become the decentralized ZK-based poll and election service that provides data privacy and also legitimacy through a distributed ledger. And for this year, they envision acquiring about 1 million users. And for that to occur, they provide easy front end for users to participate in Punkpol services through messengers. And also, as another strategy, they are working very closely with Korean government, specifically the Korean Congress, to allow Korean citizens to participate in policy poll services.
저희가 이전에 그 메인넷으로 이전하기 전에 그 호돌이넷에서 테스트를 진행하는 동안에 생성된 많은 어카운트들이 있는데 이게 지금 메인넷을 바로 그 모든 어카운트를 이전하지 않는 것은 실제 서비스를 사용하는 사용자들을 늘리는 것이 저희 목적이기 때문에 단계별로 진행을 하고 있고, 저희 예상으로는 2-3개월 후부터는 정상적으로 신규 사용자들이 늘어날 것으로 그렇게 예상을 하고 있습니다.
So if you look into the Explorer, the migration is happening rather slow of the previous service of Pengpo that was run on the testnet. They have about 80,000 users registered. The reason for that is because Pengpo is allowing new users to have access to prior access to the public mainnet transaction so that new users can be onboarded first. But they expect that within 2 to 3 months, the migration will be successful and more transactions will be seamless on the public mainnet.
So that was the final update we have for this month. So thank you to Pengpo for sharing that with us earlier today. And thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you to all of our ecosystem guests, and thank you to all of the speakers from Mina Foundation. Like I mentioned before, if you have any questions or you want to reach out to the team, the best place for that is our Discord server. I'll drop a link into the YouTube stream afterwards. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.